The grocery store line moves slowly. Someone scrolls through their phone. Another person sighs and checks the time again. The cashier drops a coin. It rolls across the floor and disappears under the counter. A small moment, nothing unusual. But watch closely, and something strange appears. One person laughs it off. Another gets irritated. Someone else suddenly feels embarrassed, even though the mistake wasn't theirs. Maybe you've noticed moments like this. Small situations that somehow trigger surprisingly big reactions. A short comment, a delayed text reply, a slightly different tone of voice. And suddenly the mind is busy trying to figure out what it all means. But here's what's interesting. Human behavior isn't really about what happens. It's about what the brain thinks is happening. Most of the time, the mind isn't reacting to reality directly. It's reacting to an interpretation of reality. And those interpretations are built incredibly fast. Before logic shows up, before careful thinking even has time to begin, the brain runs on patterns. Every past experience becomes a tiny piece of data. Every memory, every awkward conversation, every moment of approval or rejection, all of it quietly stored somewhere in the background. Then a new situation appears. The brain scans its archive. Have we seen something like this before? If the answer is yes, it pulls up a prediction, and that prediction shapes the reaction. Sometimes it's helpful, a quick instinct that protects someone from danger, a gut feeling that something feels off. But other times, the prediction is just outdated. A brain that once learned to expect criticism might hear criticism even when someone is being neutral. A brain that once felt ignored might interpret silence as rejection. Not because it's true, because the brain prefers certainty, even if that certainty is wrong. The strange thing about human behavior is how invisible this process is. From the inside, reactions feel logical. If someone feels offended, it feels like there must have been something offensive. If someone feels anxious, it feels like there must be something dangerous. But emotions don't always come from the present moment. Often, they come from old psychological patterns quietly replaying themselves. And those patterns influence more than feelings. They influence behavior. Someone who expects judgment may speak more carefully, pause before sharing opinions, maybe even stay quiet completely. Not because they lack confidence, but because the mind predicted a negative outcome before the conversation even began. This is where human behavior becomes a loop. Expect rejection, act cautiously, others sense the distance, connection becomes harder. The prediction slowly starts creating the very situation it feared. Psychologists sometimes call this a self-fulfilling pattern, but it rarely feels like that from the inside. From the inside, it just feels like, this is how people are, or this always happens. The brain loves stories like that. Clear explanations, simple rules about how the world works. But real human behavior is messier. Two people can experience the same moment and walk away with completely different conclusions. One person sees indifference, another sees calm. One person hears criticism, another hears helpful feedback. The difference isn't the event, it's the mental filter interpreting it. And here's the hopeful part. Those filters are not permanent. They update. Every new experience has the potential to adjust the brain's predictions, slowly, quietly. A person who expected rejection but experiences acceptance enough times begins to expect something different. The brain rewrites the script, not instantly, but gradually. And once that shift begins, behavior starts changing too. People speak more openly, interpret situations more generously, pause before assuming the worst. Human behavior can look mysterious from the outside, but underneath it, the brain is doing something surprisingly simple: predicting, testing, updating its model of the world.
over and over again, moment after moment. If any of this resonated with you, there's a good chance some of these patterns already started appearing in your own observations. Those small reactions, those quick interpretations, the stories the mind builds almost automatically. If exploring the psychology behind everyday behavior sounds interesting, hit subscribe. There are plenty more strange patterns of the human mind worth looking at. And if curiosity is still there, click into another video. Some of them go even deeper into how the brain quietly shapes the way people experience the world.